What's going on, guys? Kyle Bradshaw here, and today I want to talk to you about the Motoz Dual Venture front tire. Now, this tire is made in two different versions for the 9921. We have a tube type and we have a tubeless type tire. So I want to talk to you about the differences between these two tires and which tire is best for your motorcycle that takes the 90-90-21. Let's get into it. So the first thing I want to say is the 90-90-21 tube type tire is really built or developed as far as stability goes after a single seat dual sport motorcycle. So your 450s, your 500s, that's really what this tire was developed for. If you ride a big adventure bike and you have a 90-90-21 that has a skinny wheel up front, you can mount this up there, but it's going to wear out significantly quicker than that of the tubeless version. So if you can take a look here, the tube type is going to have a much narrower carcass than that of the tubeless version. We're also going to see here that we have a larger space between the lugs, between these different blocks here. And then you're going to notice that the actual block itself or lug itself is smaller than that of the tubeless version. Now, this is going to be better off-road for those of you running those skinny wheels. This one here is going to be better on-road. It's going to provide more stability, and it's going to track a little bit better. For those of you who are running big bikes, you're looking at 500-600 pounds on those things, and you really need the robust carcass that the tubeless version has to offer. The carcass on this tube type is much more flexible than that of the tubeless, and it's also much narrower. If we take a look down here at the bottom, we have probably 3 inches down here at the bottom of width between the two beads on this one here. Whereas this one here is really narrow. This is going to be the tire you're going to want if you have an actual dirt bike front wheel. It's like 1.6 to 1.8 inches in width. This is going to be the tire you're going to want to go with. Now, as far as tire weights go, this guy weighs at 9 pounds, and this guy here is 10 pounds 6 ounces, so not quite 10 and a half. So you have about a pound difference between the two tires as far as weight goes. Again, the sidewall or the actual construction of the tube type is not quite as robust as the tubeless. And that's why if you're running a T7 or an Africa Twin or something like that, I'd highly recommend that you go with the tubeless version if you're looking to rip that thing really hard on-road. If you're only riding it off-road and you want a little bit better off-road traction, you can go the tube type version. Now, any of you running tubes in your 90-90-21s, you can mount the tubeless and add a tube, you're completely dialed. Now, the reverse is not the same. If you're running a tubeless wheel without tubes in it, caveat, I now have a front tube in my tubeless KTM 1190 wheel. What a mess. Anyway, it's a whole different story. I'll put a link up here. Anyway, if you're running a tubeless wheel, you cannot put the tube type tire on your bike unless you put a tube in the wheel. So it's not constructed to be airtight without a tube. It's a tube type tire, so just keep that in mind. And that is in a nutshell the differences between the tube type and the tubeless when it comes to the Motoz Dual Venture tire. You can see that there is a lot of difference between those two. This is definitely meant for a narrow rim. This is meant for a wider rim. Now, something I want to do really quick is those guys who have a tube type vehicle, say a Yamaha Tenere 700 or even that Africa Twin that we saw inside the showroom floor. Those bikes have wide enough rims that we really should be running this tubeless version of the 90-90-21. That's going to allow you to have the proper size tire for the rim. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to throw this piece of cardboard into this tire so we get the same separation on the tubeless version that we have on the tubed version. And right now I'm going to show you kind of what happens to this tire when you spread this tube type tire onto a wheel that's wider. Because the tubeless 90-90-21 was meant or developed for a wider rim, you're going to notice that the crown of the tire here has a lot more round to it. It's curved, if you will. Versus taking the tube type tire and stretching it onto a wider rim, take a look what happens. It has made the top of this tire flat. Completely flattened that thing out. So this tire, if you mount this on, say, a KTM 890 that requires tubes, or an Africa Twin or a T7, you're going to have more of a flat aspect over the top of the crown of the tire versus a more rounded aspect that you see here on this tire over here. Now that same exact strategy is going to hold true for all of their front tires. The Adventure, the Rally, the Desert HT, they both have tube type and tubeless. And you're going to notice on all of those tires that the construction is different. It's a lighter weight tire. There's more void in between the lug sections. And yeah, it's going to work better on motorcycles that are lighter weight and have less horsepower. Again, single seat, dual sport motorcycles versus 2-seat adventure motorcycles. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm Kyle Bradshaw from Moto City. If you like what you saw, give it a thumbs up. And if you want more action like this coming directly to your inbox, please hit that subscribe button. And more importantly, the notification bell so you can be part of that notification squad. Until next time, as always, take care and ride safe out there.